What would you do to save them? Hiya everyone, it's Rancid Tea, or Daisy here, the player behind Lulen, and today we're delving into something really special. With our game's near 2-year anniversary fast approaching, we wanted to bring you a closer look at our characters, who have been through so much in our Dark Fae campaign. We are using these books by Kobold Press, which, if you are interested, you can get for yourselves through our link down in the description below, and the Tales of the Valiant system to bring this world to life. But I think it's time to get to know Lulen a little better. Lulen was kind enough to step away from her busy adventures to sit down for an interview, and let me tell you, paying her appearance fee cost us an arm and a leg. But by the end of this video, you'll understand why she's such a fascinating character. And we've even got a special treat for you. A Tales of the Valiant NPC stat block inspired by Lulen, ready to bring some of her bardic charm or chaos to your home game. So without further ado, let's get started. Why don't you introduce yourself? Oh, hi, I'm Lulen. Well, I suppose it's actually a Miss Renobala, but I still go by Lulen. Okay, Lulen, so what can you do? Oh, I'm a bard. I was actually a top performer in the Court of Night and Magic, but, well, that changed. How did it change? Well, I was doing my best, performing in the court, but I was sure some Shadow Fae were getting tired of me. So I went digging for older stories, talking to dead people, the normal stuff for a good scoop. But, Miss May Moonflower, my mentor, I guess, came to me and... well, she came to me with some worrying information. I always thought I was a Shadow Fae, a bit of a bizarre one, but still. Well, Miss Moonflower told me that wasn't exactly the case. Her Majesty Sarastra had stolen me, brought me to court as basically a baby. That must have been hard to learn. Oh, it was. I knew I couldn't stay, of course. I absolutely panicked. I ran and I ran out into the Shadow Forest. It wasn't the smartest move, but hey, pretty dramatic for the start to an epic tale. But that's when I ran into my family. Your family? Yeah, I suppose you could say my party. I mean, actually, I recently learnt of my actual mother and father. My mother, she was really cool. She led a rebellion against Sarastra and pretty much won. She got all the changelings out of servitude and brought them to the surface. Oh, I'm rambling, aren't I? But anyway, when out in the woods, I met Rhea and Strand and, oh, of course, Glimmer. Glimmer came with me. Who's Glimmer? Glimmer is my childhood best friend. He's a quick step. Or, he was. I don't think I should talk about him right now, though. Well, Rhea is my godmother. I learnt that recently. It's kind of funny when you think about it. She came all the way out here just to find me, so I guess it's fate that she did. And then there's Strand. We rescued Mary together, our group's daughter. And we have, let's just say, matching wounds when it comes to the royalty of this land. You have a daughter? Adopted, but yes. One of our first jobs was to head to the Tenebra's plane. given to us by the shadow messengers, kind of like our bosses. Shadow creatures had been attacking our new hometown Coramel, Mary's accidental doing. We met Oma Rattenfanger, god of that plane, and her children that she rescued. And Mary was one of them. Mary had lost her best friend, a shadow pup named Sable, so we went and got Sable. On coming back though, that dastardly shadow goblin Eristy had kidnapped Mary, so we went and rescued her. That's where we got Nezun too. She was making wine for the goblins, but decided to come with us instead. We convinced Oma to let us bring Mary too, and like that, she was our responsibility. We were very worried Oma was making Mary make creatures for her, and she was still half human, not full, one of Oma's kids, like the others. Mary and I actually made a creature together called Fire. Did you encounter any more people who got added to your group? Yeah, actually. I guess we have a bit of a track record for adopting new friends. We were sent by the Shadow Messengers to work out a murder in the Court of Pale Roses, a sad affair of a handmaiden getting accidentally poisoned. I don't tell anyone, but we actually blamed the wrong person on that job. The actual killer was Pomessa, a water nymph, but it was an accident. We blamed it on the creepy frogman Debrillo, but Alien, the girl who died, was handmaiden to the queen, and the king's handservant Gilfrith was assigned to help us. Gilfrith was really sad. He had this thing for Aelin, you see, and the other people there were really mean to him. So in the end, we asked King Frulio if we could bring Gilfrith with us as payment. It would have been really sad for him to be stuck in that court where his crush died, and everyone was so mean to him. But yeah, so it was us, Gilfrith, Mary, Nezun, and Lirio living in Lirio's Lotus and Lyric's tea shop. Can we circle back around to Glimmer, actually? Oh, alright. Well, the Shadow Messengers had told us they hadn't heard from the Court of Midnight Teeth in a little bit, so they asked us to go and investigate. We did, and we brought Nezun with us. She was going through a bit of a rough time in Coramel. She wasn't really fitting in. She had made a friend, though, whilst we were away the last time. A witch-like called Sarah. When we got to the Court of Midnight Teeth, we were directed to an old man on the top of a hill. He was a bit crazy, but we stayed the night. Then, in the morning, a Valiant showed up. We opened the door, and there he was. He said he was here to change our fate. He came in, tried to be nice to Sarah, and then everything went wrong. Not his fault, mind you. Turns out Sarah was actually Sarastra. She opened up this big crack in the sky, and she was there. And also Strand, well, not Strand, Lancelot. Strand's body. It's complicated. I'm sure you'll be interviewing him later. But yeah, she was trying to reach for us. I sent up a few magic missiles and shot her in the hand, and then she went away. Where does Glimmer fit into all of this? Oh, well, after that we went back inside, and the old man I was talking about, well, Sir Milk was lying in bed, oozing. To try and save him, as it seemed like a mental affliction, I went into his mind, and Glimmer came with me. I had looked into Sir Milk's mind that morning, and there was something in there, tunneling. It was really scary. But we found Sir Milk in the bottom of a pit in his mind, and, Glimmer said he was doing it to protect me, and that he'd be right back. And he did look really conflicted, but he left me there with Sir Milk. I heard after Glimmer came back too and started attacking everyone. It didn't end well.
What happened after that?
Well, we all had some really strange dreams. Mine wasn't as bad as some of the others. I remembered my mum. I was really young and she called me a Misra. She scolded me for trying to talk to witchlights in the woods and then brought me in to make cookies. It kind of devolved after that point. I remember eating sugar cookies with Sarastra not long after, saying I was much better off where I was. But then we woke up. Kinda.
What do you mean, kinda?
Oh, well, we were still dreaming. But we were all dreaming together, at least. We were in a field, and a guy came up to us and wanted us to sneak into the tower. It was a big mess, but we did, and we found Rhea asleep at the top of the tower, and then when we woke up the person who was the original prisoner for the tower, we woke up for real. In the real palace, in the Court of Night and Magic. We tried to run, of course, but, well, we ran right into Lancelot, who escorted us to Sarastra, who was already waiting.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Yeah. We were in quite the pickle. She sat us down and said she wanted to make a deal. She would let us go in exchange for stuff. We obviously added to the contract what we wanted, namely us and our friends being safe. And she added that she wanted us to get a crown for her, and that we obviously couldn't hurt her back. But that wasn't enough. I gave up my name. I gave her my name of Amisra so we could be free. And that's the last I.
Oh, who are you? Where's Lulen? I am Lulen, Princess of the Court of Night and Magic. Okay. Well, where's Amisra? I don't know who you are talking about. Okay. Right, well, what made you start adventuring? Well, I ran away from court to escape Sarastra, of course. I met up with the party. We just had this conversation, didn't we? But, well, my memory becomes a lot less cloudy after the contract. The contract where you traded your name. I said I don't know who you are referring to. Can we please move on? All right. So, Lulen, what was it like after the contract? In a word, difficult. It had been 5 years for everyone else, and when we got back to Coramel, it was different. The Horngate Inn changed ownership. Gilfrith and Mary had a house by the sheltered market, and Lirio was strange. Something was wrong with Mary, and Gilfrith was up to his eyeballs in debt, which I quickly paid off. Jarring to come back to, but we managed. What was wrong with Mary? A tricky subject. She had gotten sick, and Gilfrith had gotten hurt saving her. She had made a deal with Oma to save him in exchange for creating Oma an army. Oma had given Magnolia, as she went by at that time, her eye, and Magnolia had given Oma her soul. We managed to convince her to take her soul back and returned the eye to Oma, which reverted Mary back to being her 11-year-old self. It was a bad time. We were trying to figure out what had happened whilst we were gone, and had learnt that Sarastra had sent doubles of ourselves to attack her and Gilfrith, so naturally they didn't trust us. But we sorted it out, like we always do. And you said Lirio had changed? Yes, well, he went insane, got involved with things he shouldn't have, and hurt Mary and Gilfrith. He had sent us on a wild goose chase for a get-rich-quick scheme where he'd tried to bury us alive. And then he vanished. From Coromel, at least. We ran into him, actually, recently, at court. He has turned into a bizarre, sickly-looking creature. No matter. He won't be able to hurt Mary anymore. Right. So, you went back to court? Yes, that's where you've caught us, actually. We had a few missions to break back into renown of current day, and then we were summoned to court. A ploy by the Queen to show her control over us, but I won't lie and say it hasn't been nice to be home. People seem to respect me here. Okay, you said you went on missions in order to have to go there? Yes, well, you see, as a part of the contract, Sarastra wishes for us to retrieve a crown for her. But before we could do that, we had to prove our worth, so to say. She's going to send her son, Handa Svenk, with us to retrieve the crown, but we had to earn that introduction, of course. The clues she gave were vague, but we seemed to happen upon them. Comfort a weeping angel, find our way amidst the roses, and climb a skeleton's hands. You paused on that last one. Well, that mission didn't go perfectly. It's fine, we completed it, of course, but I died on it. We had picked up some colourful stones, went into a cave, and got trapped by an ooze. A black pudding, I believe? It fell directly on me, and, well, I couldn't get out from under it. It seems insensitive to ask, but is that where you got your scars? Very perceptive. Yes, in fact. Honestly, it's not too bad. I trusted my party would be able to bring me back, and at least when I look in the mirror, I have something else to focus on rather than looking at Sarastra's face. But yes, I awoke in a lot of pain, and these scars are obviously from where the ooze was still on me whilst I was unconscious. I think I must have fallen on my side, so the ground protected my right half. That must have been quite scary, though. Oh, undoubtedly. But I'm here now, and that's all that matters. Alright, Lulen, I think we only have time for one more question, actually. How do you think this will end? An odd tone to end on with a final question, but fine, I will indulge. We will succeed in murdering Sarastra. We have to. After that, I honestly don't know. I try not to think about it. As her heir, it would dictate that I would take the throne, but I don't want that. And there are too many unknown variables to say for certain, so there's no point worrying over it. Taking down the bitch will be a big enough challenge. Right, there. Are we done? Right? Lulen sure knows how to keep things interesting. Thanks for sticking around and getting to know her a little better. If you enjoyed this interview, make sure you check out the NPC stat block based on Lulen in the description down below. She might be just the person to add a little fae flair to your next campaign. And if you're new to the channel and curious about more from our Dark Fae adventures, don't forget to subscribe and ding the bell. We've got plenty more stories heading your way. Thanks again for watching, and remember, whenever you need a break, join us bards! We'll be here with more tales to tell and dice to roll. See you next time!